Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Or I guess Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone if you live in the US, because you know, philosophers are nerds. The Harry Potter series has always been fairly popular in gaming, with a game released for every console following each movie debut, and then there are even more spin-off games like LEGO Harry Potter and Quidditch World Cup. I believe I had access to some of these games when I was growing up, but just never got around to playing them. So in today's video, I'm going to relive the part of my childhood I never had, and finally try one of these games out, and then speedrun it. So there are 5 different versions of the Philosopher's Stone. There's PC, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation 1, and PlayStation 2. And for today's video, I've decided to go with the PS1 version. I've always seen tons of memes about the graphics of this game, but alongside the memes, there's also a lot of people out there that really enjoyed this game and found it fun to play. And I mean, I have to assume this is true, as this is literally the 6th most sold game for the PS1, despite it being released in 2001, towards the end of the PS1 lifespan. So anyways, let's get into the gameplay. This game's plot points essentially play out like the first Harry Potter movie, but there are obviously going to be a ton of differences to suit the gameplay. Like, I don't even think Harry cast a single spell in the first movie, which we'll be doing a lot of. All you need to know is that we start the game already being introduced to Hogwarts and grouped with Gryffindor, and our main goal is to defeat Voldemort, which marks the end of the run. The main gameplay elements include platforming, combat, casting spells, broom riding, and a handful of other minigames. Platforming in this game is really unique since there's no jump button. Instead, Harry will just initiate jumps anytime he approaches a ledge. With such limited movement options, there isn't a lot of time that can be saved off movement alone. But there are a handful of skips and minor time saves we can implement, which can add up to save several seconds over the course of a full run. For example, during the tutorial section, you can see me perform a ledge grab animation during a cutscene, or jumping around Ron's dialogue trigger to skip his cutscene completely. The rest of the tutorial section includes quite a bit more platforming climbing up bookcases. In general, ledge grabs are always going to be slow to perform, but it is possible to avoid them with precise platforming. By jumping off the side of a platform and then curving around will allow Harry to avoid ledge grabs, saving anywhere from a half to a full second each time. These are really difficult to do, and I only do them in certain spots where the risk of falling down is low, and I have time to perfectly position my camera following a ledge grab. After the platforming tutorial, we then get the broomstick flying tutorial. You would think with my experience in the Spyro series, flying through rings would be secondhand to me at this point, but honestly, I hate the Spyro flight levels because I'm so bad at them. And in Harry Potter, it doesn't get much better. The flying tutorial is also the most strict flying level because you can't miss any rings, otherwise the following rings won't spawn. Not only this, but the rings themselves seem to have a smaller hitbox than the ones used later in the Quidditch matches. But maybe that's just me. Fast broomstick riding can definitely net you a lot of time save in this section, but in my case, as long as I managed to finish before the timer ran out, I was pretty content with it. Following this, we have our first lesson learning Wingardium Leviosa in the Charms class. After some simple platforming, to learn this spell, all I need to do is follow this button pattern, which is always the same. To do this, all I have to do is remember the first button press of each pattern, and then follow the rest. Once Wingardium Leviosa is learned, then there's a fight with Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle, which involves throwing explosives at each other. You know, just like in the movies. The main trick to doing this fight quickly is by waiting to move once the wizard crackers are airborne, and then picking them up quickly. The first phase is pretty simple, and I can keep Malfoy stun locked the entire time. For the following 2 phases, I'll use setups to make the fight scripted, but if I mess up, I'll have to freestyle it from there. Being able to get the quick setups here saves quite a bit of time. Once we finally get outside, we get to meet the hottest man in Hogwarts, PS1 Hagrid. After watching Hagrid slowly walk away for like 10 seconds, not breaking eye contact once, we'll then head into herbology. There's not too much to point out here, other than we learn another spell, Incendio. But let's just skip to the good part, where we get to meet Hagrid again outside his hut. Unfortunately, this meetup is a bit more bittersweet, as I'll have to perform the most difficult skip in the game, Fireseed Skip. Normally I have to go along a different path to pick up the fire seeds for Hagrid, which then opens the gate near his hut. But by doing some extremely precise platforming, it's possible to jump around it. I first start this by walking into a corner and tapping my camera to make sure my setup is always from the same spot and camera angle. I enter first person mode and aim the cursor with this black dot somewhere in the middle, and then press triangle to exit first person mode, and walk directly right, only using D-pad inputs for consistent movement. Assuming I've done this correctly, Harry should start clipping into the trees. Once I see his left leg completely disappear, I'll pause buffer by pressing start to bring up the pause menu, then by pressing continue and then holding start, 1 frame of gameplay will go through, and then the pause menu will get buffered behind it, essentially allowing us to frame advance by only using the in-game menus. Pause buffering is relatively easy, but sometimes it's easy to let an extra frame or 2 through, and if that happens, the skip becomes impossible to pull off since every input for the setup is frame perfect. Getting back to the skip, once I see the leg disappear, I'll pause buffer until I see the jump squat animation start, and at that point I'll hold straight left on the D-pad to grab onto this ledge. Just as Harry starts to stand up after the ledge grab, I'll charge up a flipendo and then hold up and then up right. Once it's fully charged, I pause, let go of all inputs, and unpause. After moving the camera, I should get this angle where Harry's arm is hanging out by a little bit. From here I'll pause buffer one input down and then hold down left to grab onto another ledge. At this point, the rest of the trick is dependent on how much of Harry's robe I can see. The most ideal position is only seeing Harry's feet, but if I see a medium robe length, I can just pause buffer up once to get the position of only seeing his feet. Once this is done, I'll move the camera right until it stops moving. Next, I'll pause buffer up once, pause buffer left twice, pause buffer down left 4 times, and then if I hold up left, ideally Harry jumps right over the gate, which means we never need to grab the fire seeds. Optimally, this trick saves about 6 minutes, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any runs where I got it first try quickly. The biggest issue for me was having a claw grip, which in most games I usually avoid, but the only way to do this trick would be by using my index finger to press the start button. While I could have rebinded my buttons on the emulator to make this easier, I didn't want to take any shortcuts or play the game in a different way compared to other people on the leaderboard, so I just decided to tackle it head on and spend a lot of time practicing. Following Fireseed Skip, we have another altercation with Malfoy, and we just have to chase him around on the broomstick and do a certain number of hits. The main trick here is to cut corners so I get close enough to him to bash him, and that's pretty much it. After this, we have our first Quidditch match, and with it, unlocks the single biggest exploit in the game, which I'll be getting to in just a moment. Quidditch is pretty much the same as all of the other flying sections, where we just need to fly through the rings quickly. However, with all of the other characters loaded on the screen and flying bludgers, this causes the game to lag pretty badly, even on the Duck Station emulator I'm using, which pretty accurately emulates lag. This adds a whole other dimension to the flying mechanics, and fighting the lag becomes a unique challenge on its own. After finishing the Quidditch match versus Hufflepuff, I'll go to a book to save the game, and during the save, hold start and select at the same time to soft reset right after the save goes through. Then I'll load my save file from the main menu. Since I just completed the first Quidditch match, the option to play Quidditch is now unlocked, so I'll select that instead of play and rematch Hufflepuff. After beating Hufflepuff again, the match to play against Ravenclaw will unlock next, and I'll play versus them as well. This match is a bit more difficult than the last, with, you guessed it, even more lag. But after completing it, a large sequence break will occur. In this game, the match versus Ravenclaw doesn't occur until way later on, so by completing it from the main menu, tricks the game into thinking I completed it in the story. So when I reload the game and talk to Hagrid, I skip all of the dungeons I normally have to do and go straight to Diagon Alley. While in Diagon Alley, I'll need to make a withdrawal at Gringotts. Unfortunately, they recently waxed the floors, and if I want to get my coins withdrawn, I have to slip around the floors and pick up some forms. This will unlock the minecart. While riding the minecart, I have to collect enough coins so that 3 coin icons are lit up in the corner. Any less will result in me failing the challenge and having to restart it, losing a lot of time. Once all 3 minecart challenges are completed, I have to do a couple of minigames in Diagon Alley. None of these minigames are too bad and have minimal RNG, until we get to the Peacock challenge. This has to be the most difficult challenge in the entire game, since you need to chase this peacock around the room and stand on it long enough to give 3 feathers. The peacock has about the same run speed as Harry, so the only way to catch it is to trap it in a corner and try to cut it off. I pretty much do this section by trying to hard read the peacock's direction and just hope for the best. After I finish Diagon Alley, it's on to the Dark Forest, which is a pretty straightforward level. All I need to do is run through, do a couple of incendios to clear paths, and kill some turtles. While killing the turtles, I'll also take a couple of hits so I have lower health for a later section. Towards the end of the forest, I'll do another clip into a wall by walking into it to pop Harry onto the ledge, skipping a small section, and that's pretty much it for the area. At this point in the game, we're normally able to go to the final section in the upper castle, but because of the sequence break I did earlier, I'm not able to. For some reason, the sequence break will unlock spells and progress the story further, but any blocked pathways still need to be opened correctly before they're accessible. For that reason, upon exiting Hagrid's hut, I'll have to do another Fireseed Skip since his gate still hasn't been opened properly. Next, I'll need to get the sloth brain for Ron. To do this quickly, I'll do a skip by the grass barrier near the brain. By setting up using some of the textures on the grass and using a certain cursor position will allow me to run straight onto the grass barrier to skip straight to the brain, saving around 45 seconds. Afterwards, I'll head back to the castle to do the only necessary dungeon. In this dungeon, I'll have to hit these floating eyes to open up the main door. Some of the platforming in this area is somewhat tricky, especially when jumping around this knight, because failing it can either lose a lot of time, or if I'm low HP, I could possibly game over. The reason I kept my health low is so that when I hit the last eye to open up the door, I can death abuse quickly to go back to the start of the area, which in most cases resets progress, but luckily here that isn't the case. Once the door is open, I can finally head upstairs to face Voldemort. Once I'm upstairs, I'll first need to sneak past Mr. Filch and his cat Mrs. Norris, which is easy enough. Next I'll need to get past all of the other challenges just like in the movie. First I'll use a flute to subdue Fluffy, then I have a mini boss fight against a Devil's Snare. After completing the first phase, all I need to do is charge my Flipendo spell halfway, which is not only enough to deal damage, but I can charge it quickly enough to stunlock the boss and beat it pretty easily. Next up are the flying keys, which weirdly enough is probably the easiest flying section of the whole game, assuming I don't have low health. There's relatively no lag, and a hitbox on each of the rings is pretty generous. Then I have to do some wizard's chess. Thankfully, there's no RNG involved with this minigame, and I just use a pattern which allows me to use the least number of moves possible by making multiple chess pieces collide per turn. Next there's a sleeping troll that will be chasing me down a hallway, and I need to clear the objects from its path to prevent it from waking up and allow it to fall down a hole. Once I get to the end and it's fallen down the hole, I'll drop a chair at the same time to skip a cutscene and then progress to the next challenge. In this challenge there are 3 hidden knights, and I need to follow their movement to guess the right one at the end. This is really easy, but I also need to make sure I get 2 quick hits on the knight when it's vulnerable to get through quickly. After drinking the ice potion from the knight, I'll head into the second to last room of the speedrun. In this room, I'm supposed to beat a series of knights to cross the gap, but by doing a very precise jump, it's possible to skip fighting the knights completely. While I did manage to pull this jump off a handful of times, I just wasn't at the consistency level I needed to be at for such a detrimental skip towards the end of the run. Because of this, I learned a different pause buffer strat, which uses visual cues from the animation of Quirrell's spell. This pause buffer strat is quite a bit easier than the Fireseed Skip, but it does require me tapping on the right trigger for 1 frame during the jump, which is somewhat difficult for me to do while my index finger is already on start and my thumb is on X, which is just a lot of fingers to be using on the right side of the controller all at once. But once I do get past this jump, Voldemort is all that's left. For the Voldemort fight, I'll start by standing next to the mirror and charging up a Flipendo. Harry can't be hit by spells while standing next to the mirror, so once the first spell dissipates, I'll move forward 1 step and shoot a Flipendo out. After hearing an audio cue of Voldemort grunting, I'll follow this up with 5 more Flipendos. But I have to make sure to do exactly 6 total, otherwise I'll soft lock the fight. The rest of the fight is spent maneuvering around the mirror, avoiding his shots, and then shooting Voldemort through the mirror whenever he's in front of it. The final part of this fight is a quick time event, where I just need to mash square really fast and press X when it pops up. Definitely a weird way to end a final boss fight, but upon the final X press is time, and that's the run. The day I was running this game, I made a goal of achieving a sub 130, which I got earlier in the stream. And this was my attempt at getting a sub 125. Unfortunately, I missed a skip at the end, which cost me this run, and I only had enough energy in me for 1 more run. Let's see how it turned out. Yeah, this is gonna be a last run, whether I PB or not. I don't think I have any more in me, for tonight at least. Yep, this will be a no reset. Even if I'm plus like 5 minutes, this run will be ending.
Hey Harry, remember me? Ron Weasley.
I've never seen you in my life.
I think it was your... Come on, Harry.
I didn't get the cutscene skip. I will get that cutscene skip. Pretty much for the first part of this, I mean, for a lot of the game, it's just little minor time saves. Like right there, I actually got good RNG avoiding a cutscene with Nicholas. But avoiding ledge grabs and stuff is pretty much the main part with this. I don't go for a lot of them, but there are some like that one you'll see me go for. With ideally just not losing too much time for attempting them. All right, we'll ledge grab there. I tried going for one there. And that last one's pretty easy, so. Each one of those saves like half a second to a second. Dude. I don't understand. Oh my God.
On my whistle.
See, some people may look at that and be like, yeah, clearly you were missing those, but then I'll like literally miss an entire ring and it'll count. Oh, not in this case either. Yeah, this is all just gonna be time loss. Like some of those ones, a little bit of lag. Oh, this is not going great. Yeah, gonna be, yeah, pretty much lost all my time save, but oh well.
Hi, Harry.
We'll see how, I should be able to get the quick kills on Malfoy at least. All right, avoid the trigger here. Saves like a second. So already making that time back. And see if we get a ledge grab here. It's RNG if we do. Okay, good RNG. Save another second. Okay, we're just gonna blow Malfoy up here. Okay, a little sketchy phase 1, but cleaned it up. There we go, big flex. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, there's not a lot of like execution for this game. The skill ceiling is, it's not that it's not high, just that it's to a level that a lot of people can do it, and a lot of people can do all the optimizations. So well, that's crazy. Oh, lost a bit of time there, but all that matters is that I get Fireseed Skip quickly. So
That's the Flipendo.
damn. Yeah, I did everything right. I don't know what like I'm not gonna get frustrated over it. I just I couldn't even tell you what I did wrong there. I mean, clearly I didn't do something. Nah, I really don't know. Thank you.
First she's like,
Oh, I'm
so I
definitely
like
more
to play.
consistent. It just, even if I'm more consistent, it doesn't mean I'll hit it, I guess.
Come on.
I just have to do all the inputs each time, and then hopefully it works out. Sure, it has to be frame perfect. Yeah, it's there's a lot of frame perfect inputs, like a lot. Every pause buffer you see me do there is important, and if I don't do it, it will not work. And then even past that, there's other smaller stuff about it. Like, it's a weirdly extremely difficult skip in this little Harry Potter game, for sure. Favorite Harry Potter movie? I really like The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Close.
No, get the turn. Oh, I thought he went sharper than that. Oh no. I really thought it went sharper than that. It's.
Going for it.
Oh no. How was that not? Oh my god, I did early and then I did late for the inputs.
Potter brings it home for
No,
Gryffindor.
the Quidditch World Cup is the game that you need to play. I'm good on that. All right, guys, we are gonna be doing big boy sequence break. But no, I suck at the broomstick riding. I wouldn't do it. All right, anyways, what we're gonna do here, guys, is I'm going to save over this and then do a soft reset by holding start and select. Right after I just press that. Start game. We're going to load up that save file. But instead of going to play game, we're going to go to play Quidditch. Because I really enjoy Quidditch. So it's my favorite thing to do in this run. Oh my god, he bumped me out of the freaking ring. I hate the second and third rounds of this. There's just so many, like, there's so many variables. There's the bludgers, there's the other seeker, there's the lag.
Potter's going for it.
How was that not? Oh my gosh.
Snitch.
How was that not it? I hate Ravenclaw. I hate it. It's laggy. It's awful. It's not fun. It's bad.
Oh, that was close. A near miss for Potter.
How was that a... Did he say a miss?
Potter's going for
Oh, the quick grab.
a perfect catch.
So now if I reload the save file, the game kind of just shoots me forward into the game to where we would be after the actual Ravenclaw match is supposed to be. So I just skipped like a lot of the game. Prisoner of Azkaban's also the best game of the series, and it's the best movie. I love how dark that movie was. A lot of people didn't like it because of that. I loved how dark it was. Oh no, miscalculated. I think it's so funny whenever he gets hit. It's like, whoa!
If you
No way I missed that. That's unfortunate. That's super unfortunate. No way that didn't touch. Oh my gosh, Harry. Get a bigger hitbox. Why can't we just play this as Hagrid? No way. All right, here comes the most fun part. Peacock. I hate this part. I truly do. This alone makes the game not worth running. What? I didn't get any feather for that. All right, not bad. That was I would argue that was pretty good. All right, saved a lot of time with the peacock there.
Now we'll give the
Well, I wasn't expecting to lose time to that, but all right, Fireseed Skip part 2, baby. This time it's more annoying than the last.
Harry was rescued in the
Hagrid is definitely killing it in the looks department.
Reading about Nicol
Okay, I was right. Yes, sir. All right, the run lives. Oh man, not a fun trick at all. Oh, go with this. That might work. Yep. Easy brain skip. Oh my god, I almost didn't make that. That was way too close. Nah, that was not okay. All right, skip the friends. It's kind of weird how they would even be able to see me because I have an invisibility cloak on.
meanwhile.
Do a game with some actual competition. Have you looked at the leaderboards for this game, my guy?
Slytherin.
This is like the 6th most popular PS1 game, I'll let you know. A lot of people on leaderboards. I didn't choose this run based on fun. I mean, I don't know until I actually play the games, you know? Oh, okay. I forgot to bait that attack out. Was it still on the middle one? My hands. All right, whatever, dude. I'm gonna lose time on that, but. You guys ready for the swag strat? It might not work. It might not work. Oh my gosh, dude. That's ridiculous. Oh, Hermione! No. So close. All right, guys. Will they push me into the loading zone? Here comes the swag strat. Come on, Ron. Yes, Ron, let's go. Let's go. Uh-oh, okay. Oh my God, I did, that one came out of nowhere. This is kind of scary. All right, yeah, I'm fine with missing that if it means I don't get damage. Okay. All right, we'll take it. The key might have a specific path it goes, but in some of the Quidditch ones, it seems like it's RNG.
Wingardium Leviosa.
So I do a cutscene skip there by dropping the chair. Kind of interrupts that animation. All right, guys. Again, I'm not going to be disappointed if it doesn't work. It's a difficult trick, and it is what it is. I'll try. Yes. There we go, baby. Good shit. I took my time. But it's not over, guys. All right, make sure I count here. I'm going to play it safe as well. Let's just finish the run.
Flipendo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoa, what was that, dude?
Nintendo.
I thought like something went wrong. All right, ladies and gents, that is gonna be it. Now I gotta mash for dear life. Can't mash well on this controller. And that's it. Woo! 121.52. Thank you, everybody. There it is. Sub 125. Sub 122. Yes, sir. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Awesome. Dude, I'll take that. I will take that. I'm happy. I'm happy with that.